What if the story of Christ was never lost by accident? What if the version most people inherited was not the full message, but the edited version? A version shaped by councils, protected by institutions, repeated by generations, until the deeper mystery was buried beneath doctrine, fear, and control. Because somewhere behind the familiar image of Christ, the image placed in churches, painted on walls, and preached from pulpits, there is another Christ. A more dangerous Christ, not merely a figure to worship from a distance, not merely a sacrifice to remember once a week, but a revealer, a living flame, a voice from beyond this world calling the human soul to wake up from the illusion it has mistaken for life. And in 1945, in the Egyptian desert near Nag Hammadi, that buried voice returned. Ancient leather-bound codices were discovered, hidden in the earth like forbidden seeds. Inside them were writings that had been silenced for centuries, texts connected to early Christian mystics, Gnostic seekers, and communities who saw Christ in a way the official church could not tolerate. These writings did not simply add details to Christianity. They threatened to rewrite the entire meaning of it. The Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Philip, the secret book of John, the Gospel of Mary, the Sophia of Jesus Christ. Together, they reveal a vision of Christ that is mystical, cosmic, and terrifying to every system built on spiritual control. Because these texts do not present Christ as the founder of an institution, they present him as the destroyer of illusion. A divine messenger who came to awaken the hidden light inside humanity. A teacher who did not say, "The kingdom belongs to those who obey," but instead revealed that the kingdom is already within you. And that is exactly why this message was dangerous. Because a person who believes salvation can only come through an institution can be controlled. But a person who discovers the divine spark within cannot be easily enslaved. That is the hidden blueprint. That is the secret they could not allow to spread. The Gnostic vision says, this world is not what it appears to be. Reality is layered. The soul is ancient. The human being is more than flesh. And Christ came not to make you comfortable inside the prison, but to show you the door. To understand this, you must forget the clean, polished version of history. Early Christianity was not one unified religion speaking with one voice. It was a storm of competing visions. Different communities held different gospels, different revelations, different interpretations of who Christ was and why he came. Some saw him as the promised Messiah, some saw him as the Son of God. But the Gnostics saw something even more radical. They saw Christ as a revealer from the higher realms, one who entered this broken world to expose its false rulers and awaken the sleeping divine within humanity. To them, faith was not blind belief. Faith was the beginning. But gnosis, direct inner knowing, was the goal. They believed every human being carries a hidden spark from the eternal source, but that spark has fallen into forgetfulness. It has been trapped in matter, distracted by desire, frightened by death, and conditioned by systems that teach obedience instead of awakening. And Christ in this vision came as the reminder, not simply to die for humanity, but to wake humanity up. This is why the Gospel of Thomas is so explosive. It does not begin with a birth story. It does not focus on miracles. It does not end with crucifixion and resurrection. Instead, it gives sayings, sharp, mysterious, unsettling sayings, like keys scattered in the dark. One of its most famous teachings says the kingdom is inside you and outside you. That changes everything. Because if the kingdom is within, then truth is not locked inside a temple. It is not owned by priests. It is not controlled by bishops. It is not waiting for you after death. It is present now, hidden beneath the noise of your own mind. Christ is not pointing upward to a distant heaven. He is pointing inward to a forgotten reality. And that message is dangerous, because it removes the middleman. It tells the seeker, you are not powerless. You are not spiritually empty. You are not separated from the divine by birth. Something eternal is already burning inside you. But the world does everything it can to make you forget. It gives you fear. It gives you guilt. It gives you identity. It gives you endless distractions. It teaches you to chase shadows while ignoring the light within your own being. That is the prison. Not stone walls, not iron chains, but ignorance, And in the Gnostic vision, ignorance is the true fall of humanity. Not eating fruit, not breaking a rule, but forgetting who we are. The secret book of John takes this even deeper. It tells of the pleroma, the fullness of divine light, a realm beyond the material world, beyond time, beyond corruption. From that fullness come the aeons, divine emanations of the source. Among them is Sophia, wisdom. But Sophia falls into imbalance. From her error comes a blind creator, often called the Demiurge. This being creates the material world and believes himself to be the only God. He declares there is no other above him. But according to the Gnostics, this is the great deception. The creator of this world is not the highest source. He is blind, arrogant, limited. And humanity is trapped inside his system, carrying sparks of a higher realm he cannot understand. Now imagine how dangerous this teaching was to religious power. Because if the ruler of this world is not the true source, if earthly systems mirror cosmic ignorance, if obedience to false authority keeps the soul asleep, then Christ becomes something far more revolutionary. He is not the defender of the world's order, he is the one who exposes it. He does not come to decorate the prison, he comes to awaken the prisoners. And this is where the Gospel of Philip adds another layer. It speaks in symbols, bridal chambers, garments of light, sacred union, hidden truth clothed in images. It teaches that truth does not come naked. Truth arrives through symbols, mysteries, and veils. This means the outer ritual is never the final point. Baptism, anointing, communion, sacred words, these are not magic performances, they are signs pointing to something deeper. The real transformation happens within. The real altar is consciousness. The real temple is the awakened soul. Before we go deeper, if this message is opening something inside you, take 1 second to like this video and subscribe to Mythical Gnosis. And tell me in the comments, do you believe Christ came only to be worshipped, or did he come to awaken the hidden light within us? Your answer says a lot about how you see reality. And then there is Mary Magdalene. In the hidden texts, Mary is not treated like a background figure. She is wise, she understands, she asks questions the others are afraid to ask. She receives revelation, and in the Gospel of Mary, the message becomes even more direct. The Son of Man is within you. That one line is enough to shake an empire, because it says Christ is not merely outside you. Christ is a light to be awakened within you, and that is why Mary's role was so threatening. She represented a kind of spiritual authority that did not come from hierarchy. She represented inner knowledge. She represented the feminine wisdom that organized religion later tried to bury, distort, and silence. So when people ask, why were these texts hidden? The answer is not complicated. Power. A Christ who tells you the kingdom is within cannot be monopolized. A Christ who reveals that the world is ruled by ignorance cannot be used to defend empire. A Christ who awakens divine sovereignty inside the human being cannot be controlled by institutions built on fear. So the texts were condemned. The voices were called heresy. The mystics were pushed into darkness. But the truth survived underground. And when Nag Hammadi was discovered, it was as if history itself whispered, "You are not told everything." Now, before we go deeper, if this kind of hidden wisdom speaks to something inside you, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Mythical Gnosis. This channel is for those who question the official story, seek the buried truth, and feel that Christ's message was deeper than what the world was allowed to receive. Because the deeper we go, the more disturbing this becomes. The Sophia of Jesus Christ speaks of vast cosmic structures, layered realities, and realms beyond ordinary perception. Some interpret these as universes, others see them as spiritual dimensions or levels of consciousness. But the meaning is clear. Reality is not flat. Existence is not simple. The soul is moving through layers, and awakening is the process of piercing each veil until it remembers its origin in the light. This is why the Gnostic path is not about waiting passively for rescue. It is about recognition. You begin to notice the false voices inside you. Fear, anger, shame, desire, ego, the need to be approved by the world. The fear of death, the belief that you are only a body. These are not just emotions, they are chains. They keep the soul identified with the lower world, and every time you rise above them, something ancient inside you remembers. That is the real resurrection, not just an event in history, but an awakening inside consciousness. The dead part of you begins to live again. The sleeping spark begins to burn. The false self begins to lose power. This is why Christ's message was never meant to remain only as doctrine. It was meant to become experience. The kingdom within is not poetry. It is a challenge. Can you silence the noise long enough to hear the light inside you? Can you question the fear that controls you? Can you stop worshipping the shadows of this world and remember the source beyond it? Because according to the Gnostic vision, the greatest deception is not that evil exists. The greatest deception is that you are powerless, that you are separate from God, that you must wait for permission to awaken, that the divine is far away. But Christ comes into the illusion and says, no, the light is already within you, the door is already there. The kingdom is nearer than your breath, but you must wake up. And this is where the hidden blueprint becomes personal. Nag Hammadi is not just about ancient manuscripts. It is about you, your fear, your anger, your longing, your sense that something about this world feels wrong, your feeling that life is more than survival, work, money, status, and death. That ache inside you may not be emptiness, it may be memory. A memory of where your soul came from, a memory of the light before the world covered it, a memory of the Christ within. So maybe the story of Christ was not incomplete by accident. Maybe the most dangerous parts were buried because they gave humanity too much power. Maybe the true message was never simply, believe and wait. Maybe it was, awaken, remember, become whole, escape the illusion, return to the light. And if that is true, then the question is no longer, what did they hide? The question is, what part of you have they kept asleep? Because the blueprint was never only written in ancient books, it was written inside the soul, and the moment you remember that, the prison begins to crack. This is the Christ they could not control, the Christ of hidden light, the Christ of inner awakening, the Christ who does not merely save you from the world, but opens your eyes so you can finally see what this world really is. And once you see it, you can never fully go back to sleep. So now the choice is yours. Will you keep living inside the version of reality handed to you? Or will you follow the forbidden path inward and discover what Christ was truly trying to awaken? Because the hidden texts did not return for nothing. They returned because the time of forgetting is ending, and the light buried inside humanity is beginning to rise again. If this video made you question the version of Christ you were given, like this video, subscribe to Mythical Gnosis, and comment below, the light was hidden within. Then watch the next video on screen, because what the Gospel of Mary reveals about Christ, Mary Magdalene, and the hidden church deception goes even deeper.